The knock on the door was slow and deliberate. 3 heavy thuds that echoed through the hallway like distant thunder. I glanced at the clock. 11:48 p.m. No one should be knocking at that hour. I paused in the living room, heart thudding against my ribs. Sarah, my wife, was upstairs in bed. At least I thought she was. The house was still, the only sound the hum of the refrigerator. I opened the door, only to find a man standing on my porch. A stranger, yet his eyes burned with a familiarity I couldn't place. He was taller than me, broad-shouldered, his jaw tight, and his fists clenched at his sides. "Are you Daniel?" he asked, voice calm but laced with something darker. Contempt, maybe even hatred. "Yes, who are you?" He stepped closer, his boots scraping the porch. "I'm Michael. The man your wife's been sleeping with." The words struck like a blow to the chest. My mouth went dry. "What did you just say?" He smirked, cold, cruel. "You heard me, Sarah. For the last 8 months. And now you need to back off." The world tilted. I remember gripping the doorframe to steady myself, the wood digging into my palm. My wife, Sarah, was upstairs, wrapped in our duvet. Her hair splayed across the pillow I bought her for Christmas. "Back off." My voice cracked. "She's my wife." Michael leaned in, the porch light catching the sharp planes of his face. "Not for long, man. She told me about your little arguments, how you're boring, how she's sick of your routine life. She wants out, she just hasn't told you yet." A million thoughts rushed through me at once. Denial, confusion, rage. I wanted to slam the door in his face, but I also wanted answers. "What do you want from me?" I asked, my throat tight. He laughed under his breath. "I want you to make this easy. No drama, no begging. Just sign the papers when she brings them to you. Let her go. Don't make this ugly." I closed the door on him without another word, my hands trembling. Upstairs, I could hear the faint creak of the bed. Sarah was awake. I climbed the stairs, each step heavier than the last, my mind replaying his words. Months. That was longer than I wanted to imagine. I pushed the bedroom door open. She was sitting up now, phone in hand, the glow lighting her face. "Who was at the door?" she asked, her tone too casual, too rehearsed. I stared at her for a long moment before answering. "Michael." The color drained from her face, her fingers tightening around the phone. "You what? How do you know him?" "He introduced himself," I said slowly, my voice shaking. "As your lover." Silence. Just the sound of her breathing, shallow, uneven. "Daniel." "I can explain," she whispered. "But there's never a good explanation for betrayal, is there?" She started talking, words spilling out in fragments. Loneliness, excitement, mistakes not planned. My mind barely processed them. All I could see were the late nights she claimed were work, the sudden obsession with her phone, the growing distance in her eyes. 8 months, I murmured. Was any of it real? The dinners? The weekends? Were you just playing house with me while waiting for him? Tears welled in her eyes. It wasn't supposed to go this far. I didn't mean to hurt you. But you did. The days that followed blurred together. She stayed at her sister's for a while, saying she needed space. I didn't argue. My anger simmered beneath a thick layer of numbness. Friends called asking if I was okay. Delight. Then came the texts from Michael. Threatening, mocking. "She's happier with me. Don't embarrass yourself." I ignored them at first. But then he started showing up. Outside my office, in the parking lot of the grocery store, once even in front of my parents' house. Always the same smirk, the same arrogance. One evening, after a week of his stalking, I called Sarah. "Tell him to stop." She hesitated. "Michael can be intense. Just ignore him. He'll get bored." "Bored? He's harassing me, Sarah. He came to our house. At midnight." She sighed. "I can't control him." That sentence broke something in me. Not just because of the words, but because of what they implied. She wasn't choosing me anymore. She wasn't protecting me. I started keeping a record of everything. The texts, the calls, the late-night knocks. My lawyer said it was smart. Weeks passed, and one night Michael came again. This time he didn't just knock. He shoved the door open when I answered. "You're still here," he sneered, stepping into my hallway. "She told me you'd be gone by now." Planted my feet. "Get out of my house." He laughed. "Or what? You going to hit me? Call the cops. You think she'll stay with a coward like you?" Something in me snapped. All the nights of doubt, the hollow mornings, the humiliating texts. I grabbed him by the collar and pushed him back. "This is my home," I growled. "You come here again, and I will make sure you regret it." For the first time I saw a flicker of something in his eyes. Not fear but surprise. Maybe he wasn't used to being challenged. After that I filed a restraining order. Sarah finally came to collect her things. She looked smaller somehow, less radiant than the woman I married. "Why didn't you just tell me?" I asked her as she packed her clothes into a suitcase. She paused, tears brimming. "Because I didn't know how to stop without breaking you." "You broke me anyway," I whispered. She reached out to touch my arm, but I stepped back. That simple gesture, refusing her touch, felt like reclaiming a piece of myself. Months passed. The divorce papers came, and I signed them without ceremony. People talk about closure like it's a door you can simply shut, but the truth is it's more like a scar. It fades, but it's always there, faintly aching when the weather changes. Michael stopped appearing after the restraining order. Last I heard, their affair burned out within a few months. She reached out once, asking if we could meet for coffee. I declined, because by then I had learned something. Forgiveness is not the same as going back. Sometimes I walk past the house where we built our life together, the one I sold after the divorce. The porch light is always off now. I wonder if the new owners ever hear knocks at midnight. I think about that night often, the way a single conversation can shatter years of trust. How a stranger on your doorstep can know your marriage is over before you do. If I could go back, I'd still open that door. But this time, I wouldn't let his words define me. Because in the end, betrayal doesn't just reveal who they are. It reveals who you are when everything breaks. And I chose to stand.